Hi, I'm John Curl. Welcome to my desk. I'm going to read a few poems for you today. The Lake of Our Emergence. What is a word? A meaningful vibration. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was creation. Rock, air, fire, water, oak leaves, ocean waves, tropical jungles, oscillates, gasps of ecstasy, groans of love. We look into each other's eyes as we pass in the street. We don't say a word, but we understand the meaningful vibrations beyond words or before words, both before and beyond words at the same time. All living things, all non-living things, music, waterfalls, on this planet and beyond, flocks of small birds in the early morning, crickets at dusk, the gurgle of a baby, the voices in a singing brook. What are words? Meaningful vibrations. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was creation. We walk these slippery banks along the lake of our emergence, the center pole of our forest, our muddy port of entry into this world, our origin of place, our place of origin. We step from the lake into the place we belong. Only briefly do we walk here today, learning how to be indigenous. These restless streets we pace, where our unborn great-grandchildren play. Breezes blow wavelets rolling toward the far shore, while around us hushed fields of poppies grow, and beneath our feet rocks melt and caverns of magma flow. The uniforms, face shields, nightsticks, separating brother from daughter, sister from mother, do not separate illusion from delusion. All truth is recreated each morning when a small bird peeks out of a nest hidden in a lilac bush by the water's edge. To be able to walk here since the world began is a gift of inexpressible joy. Who gets to claim this wild, watery homeland as their own? Who gets to call it home? Every place is the center of the world, and everywhere is our place of origin. What's wrong with this country? Open up again. You who've been so hurt, trust. Take the risk of being hurt again. Truth is painful, but when it doesn't kill you, it's healing. So many sordid traumas she keeps still hidden deep in her psyche beneath so many layers of misplaced shame, the whispered lies, the secret betrayals, abuses to her flesh, her spirit, her air, her water, her seagulls, her grass, her rocks, her trees, her wind, her soul. Only the betrayed can see it. Only the forlorn can feel it. Only the forsaken can understand it. That bitterness in her smile, that grief in her eyes. You've been there, haven't you? I know you have. I can feel it in the spaces between your bones. You recognize her anguish in your own. Try to run. You can't run. Try to hide. You can't hide. You can't run. You can't hide from a crushed spirit. She didn't deserve this. She shrank into her fists, swore she'd never leave herself so vulnerable, so innocent, so open, so unconditional, swore she'd never be a victim for love again. America is suffering. America is grieving from a broken heart. Who broke it so many times in such cruel ways? How do you heal a country? How do you heal a country with a broken heart? Thanks for reminding me. Before my core ever melted for the very first time, before I ever fully lost my stillborn heart in this sandstone desert heat, I worried if I was capable of whatever I imagined love to be. She comes only in her own good time, or she doesn't come at all. Two planets spinning in orbit around each other. Intimate others. I had heard so much about what intimacy is and isn't. Then I devoured love, swallowed it in such huge gulps that only left me drowning in limestone caverns and thirsting at the same time. She sighed into her pillow. Do we have to? No, I replied. We don't have to. And at that instant, for the first time in my life, I gave up on sex. For the longest time after that, I had no interest in love. There was no one I wanted to join my body with. I didn't want to get involved. Ever since I'd come of age, I'd either been with a partner or been looking for one. Without a partner, I'd felt ungrounded, without a center. Now, some tectonic plate had shifted inside, and I wanted only to be alone. I wasn't looking for a partner. I didn't want to be in a couple. For the first time in my adult life, I was happy to be alone, single. I no longer felt the need for an intimate other. Am I still capable of feeling, of touching someone, or letting someone touch me? Or am I so remote now that no one dares come near? Then you reminded me. Long before we were women and men, long before we were gay and straight and everything else, long before we were human, Aristophanes said, according to Plato, the deity created us, double-gendered, all-inclusive, self-sufficient, bisexed. But we were also arrogant. And in punishment for our presumption, the deity split us in half, cut us each into two, creating the sexes, the genders. And ever since, we've been lonely, longing, searching for our other half, thirsting for the intimacy of rejoining with our other self and becoming whole again. The last time I felt this way was in a different lifetime. Just touching someone like this, so casually intimate. I'd forgotten how it feels to merge, submerge into some shared space, some place that is neither you nor me, but both of us, familiar, comfortable in a special way, cozy, yet vast as the universe. Thanks for reminding me. A tree stands by a crossroads. Here in the city, every street is a crossroads. But out where houses are few, the crossroads is a place of power, where the desperate go to pray, where on moonless nights spells are cast, lovers are stolen, people die suddenly for unknown causes. Yesterday, that crossroads was a hub of endless migrants, millions on the move around the world, fleeing poverty and violence, people whose families had lived sustainably for generations, but whose beloved homelands have been made barely livable by what we pathetically call civilization. All are now just folks looking for shelter, for a home. An ancient tree stands at one corner of the crossroads, observing, watching. It's not our fault, and yet it is. We destabilized the world. The sign of the times is danger, forces unleashed that none can now control. The powerful and their minions stuff as much as they can grab into their bank balances and try to escape, thinking themselves safe behind thickest walls. But there's no place to hide in a broken mirror. And now this sudden cataclysm has shut all borders, and the crossroads is even more perilous than before. Uncounted millions stranded far from home, without work or income, easy prey for predators, human and viral. Meanwhile, their families back home surrender to despair, bleeding shattered hopes and dreams. The ancient tree beside the crossroads watches them. Ragged women and girls, aged and ageless, boys, men, their shoes fall apart at the seams, even the infants look exhausted. Shuddering families pause beneath me, laying down their burdens for a brief while, then rise wearily, stagger to the crossroads center, the core of power, the very point of convergence where, no matter how exhausted, they always pause and gaze in each direction. Prayer is whispered through trembling lips. A tear rolls down a cheek, but most are beyond tears. Time is short, and death lurks everywhere. They look longingly toward the burnt-out paradise that once was home, take a quick glance over their shoulder, then sigh and carry on. And when they're gone, others take their place, and endless others after them. I stand here as witness. On every moonless night, when it is too dangerous to walk, and even the night birds and crickets are silent, an aura rises and encircles the crossroads. Only a few can see it. Only a few know it's there. It is always gone by first light, dissipated in the morning mist. Nothing remains but a shadow, a circle of protection for all travelers, all migrants, all refugees, all strangers who dare to step trembling into the point of convergence and pass through. Success. We meet clinging to the cliff at the edge of the world after a long journey. You are here. You have survived. I have enormous respect for you for that accomplishment. So, congratulations on your success. You are clever, fast, persistent, enduring, wily. The simple fact that you're alive is proof. You needed to be in order to survive through this blood-soaked mess and chaos. As any glance at history will demonstrate, they keep killing each other every day, almost anywhere we look. Bedlam and mayhem, and they've been doing that since as far back as anybody chooses to remember or to forget, since time never began. While in the thick of it, you and I, direct descendants of the long stream of life, back through the first humans and back to whatever form we took way back when, you and I have somehow made it through all this chaos and murder together. It's been quite a journey, and it hasn't been easy. So it's a victory for us all. We have arrived at this place. We are the winners, the survivors. But where do we go from here? How long? If Africa is the mother of us all, as they say, the homeland of humanity, if all of our ancestors wandered forth from that garden, as they say, and beneath the veils of ethnos, race, tribe, gender, age, and nation, if we are all one people at the core, then why do so many of Africa's great-grandchildren have such unspeakable fear of our grandmother, cause her such unspeakable grief, decade after decade, year after painful year? How long until the full moon eclipses this curse? How long until this pestilence runs its course? How long until this keystone no longer supports this collapsing wall? How long until these dry petals fall? Great historical wrongs never fade away, can never be corrected or ignored, or so it seems. Their poison infects our blood generation after generation, leaving us forever afraid to fall asleep, forever wary of the same sinister dreams. No matter what we do, no matter what we don't do, no matter what we say or don't say, we keep repeating the same nightmares, the things we can't accept, the great historical wrongs that cannot be wished or washed away. How long must a people suffer just for being what they be? How long before all the glaciers melt into the sea? How long must we close our minds while hungry children shriek? How long can we look away while the powerful oppress the weak? How long must this doomed ship over and over again set sail? How long must this trapped coyote mourn and wail? How fiercely do the lions tear the antelope apart? How deeply must I love you before you return my aching heart? The others. Entitled people feel victimized if their privileges are challenged. Warlike tribes always like to think of themselves as the good guys. People who want to be insiders always require outsiders, others. People who want to abuse other people with impunity first dehumanize them in their minds so they can feel free to attack them without guilt or fear of consequences. Any information that fits their stereotypes reinforces the demonization, and any information that doesn't fit is an exception that proves the rule. Without bad guys, the good guys would have nobody to stomp. Abuse and retribution ping-pong and ricochet in every direction. Sometimes abused people think that to stop being victim, they must become abuser. And sometimes insiders and outsiders flip until we're all in a war zone, where all are demonizing all. America suffers from some particularly virulent forms of it. Yet beneath the destructive forces that divide us are even stronger bonds holding us together. Deep in our common humanity, we are all outsiders. We are all the others. A little knowledge. As they say, a little knowledge can be dangerous. In the middle of the garden were two trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God said, "You must not eat the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or you will die." "You will certainly not die," the serpent said, "but if you eat that fruit, your eyes will be opened, and you will become godlike, knowing good and evil." Thus, America's founders lost our original innocence and committed our country's two original sins, genocide and slavery, and covered their shameful transgressions with lies. And thus we inherited the consequences of these monstrous crimes against humanity, against our sisters and brothers, against ourselves, against life itself. And to this day, so it is written, we bear that crushing weight. And even now, at the garden gate, a flaming sword flashes back and forth, blocking our way. Is it too late? Will we never lay to rest this harsh justice? Are we outcasts, sentenced here to repeat this purgation forever? How can we get past those righteous swords of flaming retribution without destroying us all in this perilous journey together to our common fate? How can we find our way back to the tree of life? Rainbow weather. Dueling with the devil in the eye of the hurricane, Venus in retrograde, Aries rising, dark spots cover the sun, predators without shame, nothing true under their darkness, nothing new under their guns, nothing to eat but dog's bane and wolf's bane, nothing to cast but blame. Nothing can change without struggle and pain, but nothing can stay the same. But those murmurs in the gales, gusting all around us, sing of something just beyond the storm. Rainbow weather's rolling in. I can smell it, I swear it. Rainbow weather's rolling in like dawn. Armies marching through the night, monumental crimes and blunders, scorched cliffs all around us, centuries of rape and plunder, bats flocking together, centipedes abusing power, jackals sniffing every crack for lovers in a secret bower. But those murmurs in the gales, gusting all around us, sing of something just beyond the storm. Rainbow weather is rolling in. I can smell it. I swear it. Rainbow weather is rolling in like dawn.